order. Roll call, and that'll be your job, the roll call.
Mr. Simons?
Here.
Mr. Boda?
Here.
Mr. Horn?
Here.
Mr. Knotts?
Here.
Mr. Blackstock?
Here.
Mr. Petsalis is
Is
excused.
yes.
And Ms. Graham.
Okay. All right, would you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance then? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the meeting of November the 20th. Does anybody have any questions? Okay.
On the minutes of the 20th, on the reverse side, there were no, as we normally do, we have the comments from board members.
Okay.
None of that is on here from the meeting of the 20th. It's something we always do.
Mine is, Donald.
I don't even
I
have one.
reported on a beautification.
I don't even have any minutes. I got the agenda and some financial stuff.
You want, here, pass them down there.
No, just gotta dig for it. There it is. You can put that one back.
So you'd like those in the,
We should have.
Board comments?
Yeah, we should.
all right, Dee, could you make a
Oh,
note
let's
of
just see,
that?
mine's July 9th.
We want to have the board
Give me that
comments
back. I was,
added to the minutes.
It's always been a thing for years and years and
Okay.
years.
All right.
Excuse me, Larry. Larry, could I please?
yeah, that was
copy
back, somehow I got the minutes of July the 9th of the ZBA
No, that's the
meeting,
ZBA, that's
but I
just,
don't have anything else.
He wants to see it.
I handed mine down to her.
And he sent it back.
Oh,
Oh, so yours has it?
yeah.
So the ones up at the table may have some.
If there are no other corrections to the minutes, I'd make a motion that they be approved.
Just a minute, Don, I haven't got a chance to read them yet. I didn't get a copy.
Oh, you
They
didn't
weren't
get
in
them?
your packet?
Nope. Among other things, I'll talk about that later.
Mine has the back.
You want to know?
Okay, yeah, okay, Don, thank you.
All right, Ralph?
Yep, having no comment.
Okay, so it's been moved. Did we have a second?
I'll support.
And supported that we accept the minutes as presented with the changes to add the board comments. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is the public comment. Anybody in the audience that would like to speak on something that's not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. C1, 11/13/12, Planning Commission meeting, or minutes. C2, 11/6/12, St. Clair County Public Works and Road Commission minutes. Everybody had a chance to look those over? Or?
No comments or anything, I'll take and, make a motion to accept the, consent agenda as presented.
I'll support that.
It's been moved and supported that we accept the consent agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next thing is disbursements and paying the bills. We have bills of $54,952.40. We have a payroll of $20,528.66. ACH payments of $23,941.21 for a total disbursement of $99,422.27.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $99,422.27.
I'll support.
Go ahead.
I'll support.
All right, it's been moved and supported.
Who
Any
supported
further
that?
discussion?
Who supported?
D.
Okay.
With that, Dee, we'll have to have a roll call vote.
Mr. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Boda?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Knotts?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Cram, yes.
Okay, motion carries. Next is members' reports. I don't believe we have any members' reports for this month, so we'll move on to new business. First thing on the new business is the MTA Annual Educational Conference, which will be this coming January in Detroit. I have shown an interest that I would like to go. Dee wasn't here. Do you know about the conference?
I read they forwarded me the literature and I was reading that. I wasn't sure if that was
So
something
it's-
they would,
It's during the day. I mean, I think we'll probably, I'm not gonna go for the 4 days or whatever it is. I'll probably go for 2 or 3.
okay.
So,
I think it would be good for some of the new members to go.
yeah, and if Herb wants to go, I know Don doesn't show an interest in going, do you, Don?
I went to the first one.
And Ralph, so
No,
I mean.
I'm not going on another one of those.
But what, I know I talked to you about this before, but I had to put it on the agenda so we get it in the minutes. So,
What time do you want any of the board members to notify the hall?
well, we should really know by probably tomorrow or within the next couple days, because we have to call and get the reservations. We don't wanna get into the late fee, which we have plenty of time right now.
Well, why don't I make a motion that any board member that is interested in attending the MTA Annual Convention in Detroit this year, take and notify or not this year, but for January
For January
13, that wants to go to notify the hall in the next 2 days. And
Okay.
we'll pay for all expenses.
Okay.
I'll support that motion.
It's been moved and supported that we let board members that are interested in attending the convention, go at the expense of the board. Is there any further discussion on this? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
You gotta do a roll call on that.
Oh, yeah, excuse me, thanks, Bill. Yep,
Yeah,
we'll have to
well,
have a roll call on that, Dave.
Mr. Simons?
Yes,
Mr. Boda?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Knotts?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Cram, yes.
okay, motion carries. The next thing on the agenda is an estimate to survey the Bell River Springborn Road Access Park that we had just acquired.
Canoe launch we're talking about.
Well, it's not a canoe launch yet, but, you know, when we purchased that property, we didn't get a survey. We've got the legal description, which I believe it says it's like 275 feet on the road. So, I mean, that goes down quite a bit past the end of Springborn. We really don't know how far. Jim marked it off with a walking wheel. We don't know if we need that surveyed for the, if we decide to do that canoe launch. We may need a typographical survey, which gives you elevations to the river and that. I threw it out there. I don't know what the board would like to do on it. You can see we got one estimate from David Little. I believe it's $525 as an estimate. I also talked to the St. Clair County. They have a surveyor's crew. Kurt Weston told me that if his crew did it, it would probably be at least a day and a half, and it's about $1,000 a day to get those guys, and they're swamped, because there's, you know, he thought that was a very good price, if we want to do it. I mean, I'm not saying we even have to do it, but what's your pleasure on that? Would you like
Larry,
to
in the
have?
future, are we planning on, doing anything with Springborn Road itself?
We are.
And in the meantime, maybe they can
Well, that's a very good idea.
survey the end of that road for us.
Very good idea. Yeah, to me, I would like, as you know, as a board, we're gonna be doing Point Drive next year. That's our match money that we're gonna use. I would think, really, my choice, unless something else comes up that's even worse, would be to pave that Springborn Road. So you wanna kinda hold off and do the survey later?
While they're right there surveying for the road, why,
Yeah, a very good idea. I
everything
never-
there.
Yeah, if we decide to do the road.
Why do we need the survey?
Well, was my question, if we needed it for that canoe thing.
the canoe.
Do we?
Well, I don't know, they haven't told us yet, we've talked to them, but they haven't let us know for sure what.
More than likely.
It goes
you
quite a
will.
bit quite a bit north of the road end, Ralph. It's not just the road end, it goes quite a bit road to the
I
north.
understand, I know where it is, I'm just questioning, why do we need a survey for it? Why do we need to spend the $500? If we don't, if there's not a reason for it, I just soon put it off till somebody said, hey, you gotta have one.
That's fine with me. I mean, if we wanna do that,
Unless they-
you can always get them to come and survey.
Then I had a better idea.
And that's fine.
I'm
I
not
would-
for paving until, I'm not for doing it until we need to do it.
Okay, yeah, and I'm kind of for that too. But I wanted to throw it out there because somebody asked about it, and
Does he know, do you know how long that he'll, I know it's just an estimate, but do you know how long he'll honor that?
no, I don't.
But it shouldn't be an issue to get another issue.
No, but it might,
4
like
months from
Ralph
now.
and Don said, it could be 2 years, 3 years before we actually need it done, or if we ever need it done. But I mean, we have a legal description. I guess the only thing that would come up is if there's private property to the north. But I
And
guess
to
they
the
could get the
south.
survey, and then we would have their stakes to the north, but. So somebody wanna make a motion just to table that? Would that be until it's needed?
I'll make that motion.
We got
I'll
a motion
support.
to table this until we actually have a need to survey that, other than,
I don't think you need a table, I just say that just make a motion at this time, not to have it done. If you have a table, then you have to sit there and worry.
oh, okay, yeah, that might be better, Ralph. Would you resend it, make a motion to just, not do it at this time?
I agree with Don, yes. Make it, I'll withdraw my motion, just make a motion that we not survey, that Springborn site at this time.
I'll support that.
All right, it's been moved and supported that we do not do the survey at this time. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, number 3 is the resignation of Ralph Knotts from the Board of Review. Should be in your packet there.
Ralph,
As a trustee, I can no longer be on the board of review.
Correct.
Ralph, you've been doing a good job on it too. Sorry to see you leave it, but you can't be on it. So I'll make a motion that we accept the resignation of Ralph Knotts.
Also,
It's been moved and supported that we accept the resignation of Ralph from the Board of Review. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next thing on the agenda is the appointment of the commissioners and the boards. I put that out 2 weeks ago for you guys to look over, guys and girls to look over. So I guess we'll decide who wants what here now. We'll start out with the, as soon as I find it, I believe it's the Park Commission. Is anybody jumping up for the Park Commission?
Oh, unless anyone else objects, I'll,
Angelo said he would take it too, as if you wanna work on that, if you're gonna do that watershed, maybe that would be a good one for him to do, because it,
Yeah, I nominate Angelo Patsalas for Park Commission Board Liaison, since he's not here.
oh, he could get a lot of them.
he may
all
end up
right,
with
it's-
one tonight.
Bad meeting to miss.
As long as he's interested in it.
Yeah, as
I'll-
long
He
as
said he
he
would do it.
All
I'll
right,
support
put
that
Angelo in
motion. He'd be good on it.
So
Is there a
hands-on
second to
Park Commission.
that?
I did.
Oh, you did? All right, it's been moved and seconded that Angelo take over the Park Commission liaison, Park Board liaison. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next is the Planning Commission Township Board Representative. What's your pleasure on that?
I'll take that one if no one of us objects.
Somebody make a motion?
I'll make a motion that Mr. Blackstock be the representative for the planning commission.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Herb take the Planning Commission Board Representative. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Zoning Board of Appeals.
Yeah, I'll do that one.
All right,
I'll second that.
you might nominate him.
Oh, I could nominate Ralph for the zoning board of appeals, I'm sorry.
I'll support that.
It's been moved and supported that Ralph take the zoning board of appeals representative. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 4, St. Clair River Sewer and Water Authority Township Board Representative.
Donald, you're a representative on that board. You still interested in it?
Yeah, well, I've been on it 24 years.
Yes, I know that, so I was
guess I
just
could-
wondering if you're still interested.
Oh, yeah.
And you
I'm
wanted to
just
stay
not-
on that too, didn't you, Ralph?
Don is the board representative, but I'm a member,
Oh, okay, so
and
you,
so
Okay.
it'll just stay that way.
all right,
I'll-
okay.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Don Boda to the Sewer and Water Authority.
I'll support.
All right, it's been moved by Mr. Horn and seconded by Mr. Blackstock that Don Boda be the St. Clair River Sewer and Water Authority Board Representative. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, Historical Commission Township Board Representative.
That's no, and I've been on for 24 years. I guess if I can, I'll just keep that one.
Okay, I nominate Don Boda.
I'll support.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that Don Boda stay on as a Historical Commission Township Board Representative. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next is the Beautification Committee Township Board Representative.
I'll make a motion, we appoint Mr. Horn,
Okay.
or, do you want that, Dee?
Well,
I'm sorry, Dee.
D's on it too, so.
Let me give you a little clarification here. I checked on that, and it's okay for Dee to be on the Beautification Committee as a at-will member, you know, as a resident.
Okay,
I'd rather have her take it, and then I'll be the at-will member.
And he could stay on as an at-will member. You'd have to be the liaison. You'd have no
Because you're
voting.
there at every meeting,
okay,
and I miss some of them, so.
that's
You know, it
fine.
might be a real good idea, though, that the clerk not be a voting member on that commission.
Right, that's why he wants me to be
I couldn't vote on it,
the liaison
not being
instead
another
of a-
board member, I don't believe.
No, I'm saying, I don't think it's a good idea for the clerk to be a
She
voting
won't be
member.
voting if
She
she's a
can't
liaison.
vote on it, I couldn't vote before.
She
as a
would be our
board member.
representative. You
Yeah.
don't vote as a representative.
And I don't believe I could vote on
Probably
it
not as a-
as a representative,
Probably
Being
not
a
as a
board member.
representative, but you could be a member of it.
yes.
So what's your pleasure, one or the other?
I would
I'll
like
let
to be
Dee
the
do it,
liaison.
Cause she's been doing it
Right.
for quite some time.
We have a motion that Dee Cram be the beautification committee.
I
Is there a
changed
second?
my motion to, have
Oh,
the
okay.
D Cram to be the township board
And I'll support that.
rep to the,
It's been moved and supported that Dee Cram be the beautification committee township board representative. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next is the St. Clair Fire Advisory Board. In the past, it was Jack Randolph and Gary Arnold. I would be willing to sit on that board. Don and I sat on the Marine City Board, and that's coming up next on the agenda. We have terms that don't expire till 14 and 16, I believe. So Don has agreed to get on it. If you want Don and I to do on both the fire boards, then we would have, I think, a little more unity into what's going on with the two boards. And it's a very big expenditure for the township to these fire authorities. I mean, we spend a lot of money there. So I think it should be coordinated.
I think that's a good idea, have the both of you, then you know.
Don's willing to
You
do
know
it,
what's
I'm willing to
going
do it,
on
so.
both of them.
Can
I'll
we
make that
for
motion
both?
that we appoint, Mr.
Well, let's do the St.
Boda
Clair one.
and Larry Simons to the St. Clair Fire Board.
Okay.
I'll support.
All right, it's been moved by Mr. Horn and seconded by Mr. Blackstock that Don Boda and Larry Simons be on the St. Clair Fire Advisory Board. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next is the Marine City Fire Advisory Board, which we don't have to do an action on right now because Don and I's term doesn't expire for another couple of years.
Okay, so it's
We
just,
can just leave Don and I on that.
Okay, good.
Next one is the Emergency Management Township Board Representative. In the past, we haven't had somebody do that. It's fallen under Sandy Smith, our office manager. But if somebody wants to do that, I'm throwing it out there.
I just wonder if Angelo would be interested in that. He's only got one, and I'm interested in taking the next three.
Well, the only thing with Angelo, that is, I think that's something that meets during the day.
Yeah, he's not gonna wanna do that.
Because he's tied up until like 8 o'clock.
So, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, he's not here. If you wanna nominate him, that's up to you.
No, I wouldn't nominate
That
him
wasn't one of
unless-
the, Angelo told me, I talked to him today, he told me the three that he would like to participate willingly was the lot split, elections, and the park, so.
Okay, well,
Well, election takes two, so,
What'd you say,
the election takes two,
It
so.
takes
Don-
two
if
members.
Don and Angelo and Dee for the elections.
No, I'm talking about Emergency Management Township Board Representative.
My 2 cents worth is I think that's something Sandy could do.
Okay,
It's more of an administrative thing that you've gotta keep in tabs with everything that's going on. That's kinda right up her alley, so.
okay, then we'll leave that. I'll appoint Sandy to do that tomorrow. Next thing is the Election Commission. We have the clerk and we need 2 board members.
And I'd nominate Angelo as one of those board members.
Angelo and I'll take
Angelo,
that.
Don, and Dee.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, I'm sorry, somebody else spoke up.
so it's been moved, we second on that?
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we have Dee, who is our clerk, which is automatically on it, and the 2 board members will be Angelo Pacellis and Don Horn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Next, lot split board. The assessor sits on that and 2 board members.
I was on it for a few years back. I'd be interested in taking it again.
Okay.
make a
I'll do the
motion.
other one if you want to.
Don.
You
want-
already got 4, Don.
Well, Angelo said he would like to do that one.
Oh, he
too,
wants
so-
to, I'm the one to do the job, okay, yeah, 'cause, that's
So
fine.
Angelo
So you have,
and Ralph?
you have the assessor, you have Mark, and then you'd have Don, and you'd have Angelo.
Yeah, whoever you want, let me know.
Angelo, Don, and the assessor, okay.
All right.
The other one is,
Somebody make a motion to that?
Make a motion.
All right, Herb, second.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we make Angela Pacellis and Don Horn the lot split board members. All in favor signify by saying aye.
aye,
Opposed, motion carried. Construction Board of Appeals. We have 1 vacancy there.
I'll take that, Larry, because I don't believe they meet that much anyhow, so.
No, they don't, they very rarely meet.
And,
Okay,
you know, if they have it during the day, I'd be available.
okay.
I nominate Don Horn for the Construction Board of Appeals representative.
I'll support.
All right, it's been moved and supported that we put Don Hort on the Construction Board of Appeals. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. The last one is the Northeast Watershed. It meets in the morning about 9:30 every other month or every 3rd month.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
Okay, somebody wanna make a
I'll make
motion?
a motion for Mr. Blackstock to be on the Northeast Watershed.
I'll support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported that, Mr. Blackstock be our representative on the Northeast Watershed. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. And that completes our, appointments. Thank you. Next thing on the agenda is a designated depository for the 2013 year, our banking. If you've had a chance to look at the memorandum, it's got 1 Seaway Community Bank, 2 Comerica Bank, 3 Flagstar Bank, 4 JP Morgan Chase Bank, 5 Bank of America.
I'll make a motion that we accept, from Teresa Rancho, the deputy treasurer, the depositories for the township, Seaway Bank, Community, or Comerica Bank, Flagstar Bank, JP Morgan, and Bank of America.
I'll support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported that we use these institutions for our money. Any further discussion on that? I just have one question. Do we move that around? I see there's a couple, is there new ones on there, Don, or do we stay with the
Switch 'em
same
around
one?
if we can, the gals are normally looking to see where we can find a better, for CDs and so forth, and that's been nothing but rotten for the last
Yeah, that's
5
just like
years.
next
It's
to
been like
nothing.
0.2% for CDs, 0.25, it's really terrible. And we just keep, not constantly, but we do move them around if we can find a better rate. And then, when one expires, we go to the different banks and stuff, so.
Okay, thank you. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we, and all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. Item 6, we have to reappoint our engineers, our attorney, our planners. We've already done Stewart, Bovee, and Whipple as our accountants, so I guess for the new members of the board, a few years ago, we went through this long process. Do we want to go through that again, or do we want to? It was, I mean, I think we have to do it at a certain time, but I don't know, being as though we're a new board, that we should do it right now. Maybe next year would be a time to look at all this stuff, especially with, 2 new members that'll have a lot more input than what 3 new members that we had. Were you on the board, Ralph, when we did that last time?
I was on the board when we did it one time, whether it was the last
okay.
time or not. And I agree with you.
It's a lot of work.
Unless we've got someone has a real problem with some of the people that we are currently employing in these positions, it's a waste of time to do it again.
We're only talking a year.
I only know from reading the papers, I don't see that we've had any problems with the current people that work for us in these capacities, and I don't see a reason why we shouldn't keep them.
Well, we
only
almost tied up with the engineers because
We
we're
are,
doing
'cause of
work
the
on
sewer plant,
plant.
yeah.
These appointments are only for a year though, correct?
And that
1 year, yeah.
Yeah, every year they look at it.
they're getting a grant for quite a percentage of their fee for engineering.
Well, we
so
already got that other grant that they wrote up too.
yes, it's already
That is
approved.
2 grand.
Okay, so then somebody wanna make a motion to appoint
Do you
Wade
do them one
Trim
at
as?
a time, or you do them all?
Yeah, I'll do them one at a time.
Did you say Wade Tripp has already been done?
No, Stewart, Bovee, and Whipple, we did
I
that
see.
a
Okay.
couple of weeks ago, or a month ago.
Okay,
Well, I'll make a motion to appoint Wade Trim as township engineers.
support.
It's been moved and supported that we have Wade Trim as our township engineers. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I'll move that we appoint Keith Zick as a township attorney, 2013. Keith Zick and firm, actually, isn't it?
Right.
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported that we appoint Keith Sick as our township attorney. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is the community planners
Who are they?
as our planners. That's the name of the company, Community Planners.
They doing okay?
Yeah, actually they have so far. I mean, we've dealt with them just on our,
I think-
master planning.
Is this another name for Villic and Laban, or did we get rid of it?
Villic and Lehman no longer exists.
Yeah, they
No
don't.
longer exists, okay.
Didn't the
believe.
one guy went to this company, didn't he, or was?
They were bought out, I believe.
How are they doing as planners? Because we changed from Villic and Lehman a few years back, and how is the new ones doing?
At this point, I think they're doing pretty well. We haven't had any development, so they have not reviewed any new developments or anything of that nature, but we have worked with them on our master planning and future land use, so. And that's fine. I'll nominate community planners as our planners for
It should be
2013.
on your other pack.
Okay, and then I'll support that. You're on the planning commission.
Okay, it's been moved and supported that we have community planners as our planners for 2013. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next thing on the agenda is the IRS mileage rate for township people that drive their personal vehicle on township business. The new rate is 56.5 cents per mile for 2013. In the past, we've always adhered to that standard, so I guess a motion is in order.
I make a motion, we accept the IRS mileage rate of 56.5 cents per mile for the year 2013.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and supported that we accept the IRS mileage rating of 56.5 cents per mile. Any further question? Roll call.
Mr. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Boda?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Knott?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Cram, yes.
Motion carried. All right, under new business, item 8, resignation of Charles Miller from the Board of Review. It's in your packet. It's due to health reasons.
I move that we accept Charles Miller's resignation from the Board of Review. As former chairman of the Board of Review, I'd like to also make that with regret. He's done a great job for the last few years, especially when I was on the board.
I'll support that.
Okay, it's been moved and supported that we accept the resignation of Charles Miller from the Board of Review. And I'd also like to thank him for all the years of service that he was on that.
Can we get him a letter?
We can. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. The next thing on that is we're going to appoint Michael Batchelor to the Board of Review to fill that term of Charles Miller through December 31st, 2012. And then probably at the next meeting or the meeting after, we'll reappoint all three people. So I think the terms all expire at the same time. So if somebody would make a motion to appoint Michael Batchelor.
I'll make that motion to appoint Michael Batcher to the Board of Review through
He
the
has agreed
December
to do it too.
31st, 2012.
I'll support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported that we appoint Michael Batchelor to the Board of Review to fill the vacancy from Charles Miller through the end of the year. Any further questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now that concludes our new business. Now we have the announcements, which I'll read what I have here today. Township office will be closed December 24th and 25th for Christmas, and December 31st and January 1 for New Year's. Trash will be collected on the Saturdays following each holiday. Park reservations begin Wednesday, January 2nd. The fee is increased to $50 for residents plus a $100 cleaning fee.
Why? Why are we increasing it for residents? I mean, it
To
was
cover the
25
cost
bucks.
of cleaning it up, I would believe. Herb was
That
the
is-
chair of the park commission when they did that.
That is correct.
Maybe you could explain, Herb.
I don't mind, the cleaning fee, I understand, but I mean, just the reservation fee, that's what I'm questioning.
Well,
The
they get the
reser-
cleaning fee back if there's no work to be done to clean it up.
But why raise the reservation fee?
The reservation fee was raised in part due to the reservation fee here for this facility went up, as well as all the neighboring communities. We looked at what the neighboring communities were charging for their pavilion use. We're still below many of those in terms of use by their,
What do we charge for non-residents?
I believe
It's $100.
75, I think.
75 or 100?
I think it's 75. I'd have to check to verify that, I can't remember, but we increased both.
Well, frankly, I'm not in favor of raising it, as you could tell, for the residents. I wouldn't mind if we wanted to raise it for the non-residents, but, the park is for the residents. We wanted to get, money for cleanings, so they don't leave the place trashy, and we've taken care of that. But just to make a reservation for one of the pavilions,
But
Well,
the-
there-
the-
their taxes are paying for the park. Why are
That's
we
true,
charging?
but we found that there are other things that have increased our costs over the years. We've added things to the pavilion such as windscreens, That now, and for the good of the community, has increased our staff usage, which is essentially just raised the cost, the daily operating costs of renting a pavilion. It's all of the additional things that we found over the last few years. Extra work on our staff, extra supplies being used, things of that nature when there are larger groups and more rentals. Plus, the rentals have gone up. They've continuously increased the amount of rentals. So we're using more and more supplies within our park, and again, we're using more and more resources. So it's just like everything else, it's continuously going up in cost.
You know, when we first did it, we didn't charge residents anything, you know, it was their park. We had a reservation system, so we knew who could get a pavilion, but we didn't charge them anything. And then we put $25 in, and then with the cleaning fee, and, well, that's just to make sure that, you know, people come in and fill out the paperwork, more or less, as far as I was concerned, because, you know, our taxes are paying for that park.
And that, the park is all funded out of the general fund too, so I mean, it's,
And I'm assuming the $50 goes into the general fund, right?
yeah.
It's just that's sort of like a deposit. If they don't have to do any cleaning, they should get their deposit back.
Well, that's over, that's
For the
over and above
$100
the
they'll
$50,
look at.
Don.
That's what I'm saying.
$100 they
It's
do.
a deposit.
Yeah, they have to
For
put
cleaning.
$100 down for cleaning, and they have to put $50 to, and they don't get the
I
$50
understand
back.
that. But the 100 should be, if they don't have to do any cleaning, it should, for residents, it should be returned.
It is.
That's what I'm saying.
What we're
What about the
discussing is
$50?
$50.
All they have to pay is the $50.
I understand that, I don't think they should have to pay the $50. I think that's too much for resident, for reserving one of our park pavilions.
It used to be 25 years ago.
Well, what, it is 25 right now, unless,
No, it has been increased. Starting the first of the year, the fees have all gone up.
but it has to be approved by this board. Is that what we're doing here?
Oh, I think it's just an
I
announcement.
thought it was just an announcement.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I guess you'd have to take that up with the park board. Well,
No,
Because park
park
board's
board
elected.
sets the fees in the park? Or does
park
this
board
board
set the fee in the park, yeah.
What is it for non-residents?
I believe it's
75.
75.
Okay, where does the money that the park board gets for $50, where does it go?
Back into
Goes
the
back in
general fund.
It shows it on your,
It goes
in
in
the
the general
budget
fund.
as revenue.
Okay,
You'll see it on the revenue page.
if we're paying for it, why does the park commission set the fee?
We give the park a budget,
Mhm.
and they control the park. A good question, I mean, we can research it and find out why, I see what you're saying, we're giving them the money to operate the park. Why
I think
should
we ought to
we
have
be
a say,
setting?
I think we ought to have a say on the fees, that's what I'm getting at, yeah.
Well, eventually it'll come to this board, correct?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Has it already come to the board? How
I
do we
don't
do
believe it, I don't believe it has.
How does the $50 fee get approved?
It was voted on at the park board.
And we
I
were
don't know.
told we set the fees.
I don't know in the past if the board approved these fees or not.
Well, I can check.
I
and-
remember voting for the $25 one
As a board member.
as a board member, yes, sir. That's why I'm questioning why we're raising the fee without a vote of the board.
Well, if you want to, I'll, get that answer for you at the next meeting.
Okay.
I mean, this isn't like, Dee said, this isn't something we have to make action on, this was just an announcement.
Well, the other thing is, we as a park, as a board of
Right.
East China, could make a motion, you know, I'll pass, and not doing it right now, I'll wait till I get the answer, but we could very well make a motion to set the fee right here at the board level.
Okay, I'll get back with you at the,
Since
on
we
the
fund the park,
17th.
since we fund the commission, you know, park commission, they're gonna get what they need to run the park based on the budget, so.
They're elected.
When it
they
impacts
have no money.
residents, we should have a
Money
say in
comes
it.
from
They
this
said
board.
they were appointed. That's the
No, they're not appointed, they're elected.
They're elected
They're elected,
officials.
I understand.
Okay, I'll find that answer out for you.
They are elected, but
Yes,
I
they
would
are.
also, you might ask Mr. Zick as to whether or not whether or not they have authority to spend the money that they get from the county, and we also provide them
We give them-
a bunch of money that they're spend at their pleasure. But I don't believe they have the authority to lay fees on township residents without the approval of this board.
Okay, I'll check on that.
My only question on the timing of this is, I believe they've printed up the forms and everything with all the new fees, and it's in the new calendar, because
Well,
that was our
that can
understanding
be
at the
changed
Parks
if that's
Commission.
not the way that the law reads. If that's not legal, we'll just have to, when the people come in, instead of collecting 50, we'll collect the 25,
Okay.
you know? I don't think we can, hinge on, because we have the calendars printed, that, that was the information you were given, but I think if it's not right, well, we'll make it right,
Okay.
okay? All right, now we're down to board member comments. Mr. Horn,
I have none.
Mr. Boda,
Yes, I'd like to welcome Dee to the board. And,
Thank
hope it all works out well for you.
Mr. Knotts,
I have two. I'd like to mention just kudos to our township engineer, Dave Newmer, and Wade Trim for obtaining us that $128,700 grant to support the improvements in our sewer plant. I mean, he's been working really hard at that. He started that, generated, got into all that stuff, and so far he's got some money and he's going for more. And I think he's doing a good job, and I'd like to make sure that's mentioned in the minutes.
okay?
And I have one other thing is, I got this tonight when we arrived. It's the revenue and expenditure report. I'll be happy to go through it, but I can't do it in 5 minutes before it starts.
I
I'd
got
like to
that
get this
covered.
in my packet.
I believe they'll bring this up at the
Just-
next meeting.
Just give me a minute to my comments, and I'll take care of that.
Okay, then I have nothing further, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Blackstock,
I have nothing.
Clerk Graham?
No, I'm good right now, thanks.
Okay, all right, I got a few things. One being what Ralph just asked, the revenue expenditure report was just presented to me tonight. I was gonna hold it off until next meeting, but I thought I would give it to you guys to study it for the next 2 weeks and bring it back at the, December 17th meeting, and we can discuss it. Yeah, I don't like that, Ralph, to be given that and then having to do action on it. That's why it's not on the agenda.
Okay,
It's just presented to
fine.
you to look at. And Ralph mentioned about the DEQ approval of the $128,000. That is an engineering grant, and we got all but $2,000 that we asked for on that grant, so that was a good thing. Now, on the bad side, we didn't, excuse me, we didn't get the state revolving fund for the main part of the sewer project. We were denied. So we're gonna continue along the plans that we had put in place with Canfield Miller to do the bonding on it. That was our original way to go, but we thought we would put in for the state revolving fund. But they have limited money. I got the letter just the other day saying that we are denied. We can continue to put in for that, but they pretty much said we're not gonna get it because it goes by the conditions of your sewer plant, how many times you violated, and there's sewer plants that are a lot worse off.
yeah,
I mean,
our
it's
sewer plant's too good on that.
It's a
guy.
good thing, our operators, our people that work here at the township have done a great job, and it's a good thing that we don't have incidences.
It don't hurt to try.
No, and that's what we did, we put in, if it was available, well, we would've took it. But in the meantime, we're gonna do the,
'Cause he's gonna continue to apply each year, right? 'Cause
Well, we can apply each
They
year, but-
reevaluate, they put them in a line, they draw a line, and.
well,
you
we
know,
didn't
if you-
even
if
come
you-
close to the middle of the
I
line.
know we're not close this year, but I I'd maybe talk to Mr. Newmer, but unless there's, really overwhelming work to reapply, but since he's gotten all the work and gotten all the numbers, I suspect
I talked to
reapplying
Mr.
next year is
Newmer
not-
on that very subject, and he's the one that advised me that we shouldn't even be
Okay.
spinning our tires trying to get it, because we're not even gonna be in line. But I'm not ruling out that we
Okay.
can't put in for the next one.
No, there are other sources too that, Mr. Newmer's been
Right, that
pursuing,
he's pursuing,
and, should keep after those.
and we will. The other thing is, Mr. Horn, I got those flower pots moved out in front for
I
you.
want to thank you. I see that was moved.
Okay. Sorry it took so long, but we got it. I also got a thank you, from our, water superintendent, Mr. Mike McLeod, for his family. We sent flowers, this board did. And we'll discuss that later, and
This board usually has a flower fund. You gonna take up a flower fund?
I'll bring it up now. I was gonna do it after, but, yeah, we're gonna do a flower fund. We don't have one. I can't find one. I gotta get a hold of.
It's probably all gone.
I know, I got it, and Jack's been gone, so I haven't talked to him, so I've got the bill in on my desk. If we wanna collect,
My 20 next meeting.
you wanna do 20, is that what you wanna do? Okay,
That's what we usually do.
okay. All right, we'll do 20 then.
I'll catch you next meeting.
All right,
There's mine.
I got you ready.
Broke?
And you.
Did he
know
give
what
you a
we're
whole
talking about?
20 or
Yeah,
just
yeah,
give you
I'll do it
half?
Next meeting.
And with that, that concludes what I have.
Half for me and half for Bodo.
I don't have any more to present, so I guess a motion would be in order to adjourn.
May I have the floor again, please?
What's
Can I
that?
have the floor again, please?
Yes, you can.
I found in my packet, and I don't know, you didn't bring it up, so I didn't, but, it's the minutes of the, zoning board of appeals of 9 July 2012.
Yeah, I noticed that in there.
That was a request by, it was put forth, by Mr. Pat Solis, going back to the
Marwood.
Okay,
Marwood Bar as to why it's not open yet.
yeah, we don't need to do anything about this, but
No, it's
I
just
would like to
FYI.
mention to the board, since I was chairman of this one, when this happened.
Yeah, it's just
This was,
FYI.
for Mr. Carmos. He basically has till 9 January, and then he is again in violation of our zoning ordinance. And so I just want to let everybody know, that's coming up, and we need to be aware of that. And I
Well-
don't know what Mr. Carmos is
I
doing.
checked
if
into that,
anything.
Ralph.
Huh?
I checked into that.
Okay.
A couple of meetings ago, Ralph, I had asked about what these,
Yeah, it was asked, and that's why I put it in your packet.
what the situation has to do at the Marwood right currently, and then, at that same meeting, Angelo brought the fact that there was some information from that meeting, and so what happened is that, Larry got a hold of the minutes of it. That's just for an FYI from tonight.
Okay, just,
And that, as far as the Marwood is concerned, it's in the Marwood's hands right now to complete what they have to complete.
well, the
The
reason I'm
township is not holding up anything at the Marwood.
Okay, well, the reason I'm kind of bringing it up is because I know we're on TV. He's got till 9 January, and he needs to work on it, because if he shows up at the CBA again, he's probably gonna have a really difficult time.
Right.
The last I checked on it, I checked with the hall, and the violations that he had there that had not been updated yet or fixed, they were supposed to be signed and be returned to the hall to show that they recognize that they have the problems, and that they've been notified, and those had not yet been returned.
So the ball's in his court,
Okay, he's gotta be open for business by 9 January. Okay,
and that date, we're not confirmed on that date yet.
not yet. You got 1 month. I'd give him a little warning.
Yeah, he's got time. So with that, I guess we'll have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion at what
I don't know
time?
what else is gonna make it, I'll make
Oh,
a motion.
D made it.
Oh, D made, I'm sorry, D.
8:19.
I didn't hear you down there.
8:19, you want a second?
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn at 8:19. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.